Let's talk about the album, The Space Lady's Greatest Hits.
Energize me, synthesize me.
Hi, welcome to Garage Geek. So yesterday I went to my local record shop looking for the new Chris Isaak Record Store Day release. When I was going to my local record store, I didn't have much hope, but I just wanted to check anyway. And as I was going through the new releases there, I came across this. And a couple of weeks ago, I noticed that this recording, The Space Lady's Greatest Hits, had come out on Spotify. And I was thrilled, and I was listening to it, and it brought back a bunch of memories. And then when I saw this album, even though it was brand new, I had to buy it. It was an instant purchase for me. It was $17.99, which actually isn't that bad for a new album. And then this morning, I looked it up on Amazon, and it costs $26. So I was actually very lucky to get it for the price that I did. The packaging is really nice. It's sturdy. It comes with an insert. And what's really important to me, and I'll explain why, is this. It was written by the Space Lady, and it's about her history. And let me go ahead. I just want to show you the vinyl. The labels on the vinyl. Now, before I get into the history of this, the quality of the record is what I expected. The recording quality is great. It's just what I believe the original source materials. There was probably homemade cassettes, and there is hiss on these songs, which, due to the nature of the songs, knowing that this is from a street musician, I'm totally fine with the hiss, even on the vinyl. When I was getting ready to purchase, I started talking to the owner of the store. I asked him, "Hey, do you know who this is?" And he was like, "Oh, I remember seeing her all the time in Boston." And I was like, "Wow, that's weird, because I remember seeing her all the time in San Francisco." And so that kind of confused me. And that's one reason why these liner notes are so important, because she was in both Boston and San Francisco. And it was just that weird coincidence that we had both seen her and we knew of her. So when I was in the military, I would go to street fairs all the time. And of course, I always went to the Castro. I mean, where else would I go? This woman would be playing all the time on Castro and Haight. She would be at most of the street festivals, and there were a lot of them in the summer throughout the San Francisco area. So she would always be playing there, and you would immediately notice the music, and you'd be like, "Oh, it's a Space Lady," because the sound was so ethereal and kind of ghost-like.
Standing there alone, the ship is waiting, all systems are go.
And my friend, her name is Judy, she lives in Iowa. We were chatting about this morning, and she remembers she and another friend named Lisa, they went up and talked to her and bought a cassette. And my friend was surprised that, she wasn't loopy, because so many of the street musicians were, they were a little bit cuckoo. But she was very level-headed. I started reading about her history, and it's fascinating because her life is the quintessential countercultural American experience. And I really wish I could read this to you, because everything about it made me love this woman more. Like, there was some reason when I saw this album, I said, I have to have it. It just evoked these memories and emotions in me from when I was younger. So on this album, you're going to see that she covers a lot of popular music, and she talks about the process of how she would write. So she would go home and she and her husband would listen to these pop songs, and then the next day she would go into the wherever she was, playing on the street, and she would try to remember the songs that she had learned the night before, and she would forget things, and people would say to her, "Oh wow, your versions are so interesting and different." And she knew it was because she was trying to remember the songs and she couldn't remember them, and so she would make up what she didn't know. So when I read her story, I don't know why, if it's because I am emotionally attached to this music, but as I read her story and what she had to go through, and it really was touching and endearing to me. So as I've been playing this video, I've been playing snippets of her music. Now, I absolutely know that this music is not going to appeal to everybody. This is a street musician who was making a living supporting her family by playing music on the street. But according to her liner notes, she touched a lot of people. So many people were used to seeing her. She was like a fixture in the Bay Area. And so many people, she writes that she was so welcomed when she was in the Castro. So many people would come up to her and talk to her, and she wasn't used to that. And she was basically very shy. But she said she got so much love when she started playing there that she hadn't experienced anywhere else. And she really felt like she was being appreciated and could grow as an artist. And even though she was starting from something very humble, just with a keyboard and a mic and a small amp that she carried around with her, she really felt that she was loved and appreciated and that her art could grow. And I just find this whole story so satisfying.
And they all started grooving. Yeah, 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 yeah. The man in the back really blew his stack and it turned into a bomb.
So, Space Lady, I just want to say that this is a kind of love letter to you and what you represent, and the emotion that you bring. And I'm going to say, and this is honest, your version of Ghost Riders in the Sky is probably better than any version that I've ever heard, and it's probably going to be better than any other version ever made. It's very powerful. It's Ghost Riders in the Sky, and it sounds ghostly. I just appreciate you for your art and what you did. Thank you so much for the music.